Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Keira King, founder of Modern Pianista. On this channel, we discuss all things regarding artistry, entrepreneurship, and of course, music education. So if you can hear it a little bit in my voice, I'm a little congested. I'm still getting over a cold, which is why I haven't been able to post as much this week. But this video wraps up the playlist series, Modern Pianista Signature Exercises, that we've been working on in the key of C and A minor. In this video, I'm going to show you how to work your A minor 7 inversions using arpeggios and block chords over octaves. So for those of you that have not used inversions before, I want you to start with triads first. I'm going to link it in the description below. So I want you to start with your triads before attempting this exercise. This video is for people who have already made it through that playlist or have already done inversions to a point where they feel comfortable with it and they can now focus on the way things sound and feel. This exercise helps you expand your creativity and helps you connect to what you're hearing on a deeper level so that you can one day create versions of your favorite songs or maybe one day create your own songs. It's really hard to get connected on that level if you're doubting your fingering or your placement or inversions as a whole, like if you haven't worked them before. So if you're not too familiar with it, then I highly recommend starting from the beginning where you just work your right hand and work through your inversions first. If you've already done that part, then perfect. This video is for you. This is going to help you get more creative and work your inversions in a way where it feels more fulfilling. So let's get started. A minor 7 inversions over octaves. I'm going to demo this for you first, and then we'll break it down one by one. With some blocks. So we have so finish that pass before you go to the next one. So you just keep repeating it as you go through each octave. So starting from the beginning again, we have our root position. Thumb over to C for your first inversion. Move your thumb over to E for your second inversion. Move your thumb over to your G for your third inversion. And as you finish that, you come back to where you started, and you now do that again over G. Let's hear it over F. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. Do it again over E. 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, let's go over some note names. A, C, E, G, C, E, G, A, try it over C. A, C, E, G, C, E, G, A, E, G, A, C, G, A, C, E. Over B. A, C, E, G, C, E, G, A, E, G, A, C, G, A, C, E. And last one. A, C, E, G, C, E, G, A, E, G, A, C, G, A, C, E. bottom of your piano. You're going to be hitting the very last note of the piano, which is A. So you can do this exact same thing and hit all the notes at once, which is a block chord, and cycle through over each octave. So this helps you hear all the different options that are possible in the key of A minor. And it's a more creative way of drilling your chords and your inversions. Creating some harmonies and giving you inspiration for different melodies. Now that's one way to practice it, just directly. Like run your arpeggios, run your blocks, do it over your octaves, go up, right? Do one pass. So once that feels comfortable, then I want you to just mix it all up, like try different things. So I encourage my students to just explore and try new things. So, maybe also practicing coming down. Coming up with rhythms. It's really the sky's the limit, honestly. There's just so many variations. And so when you feel comfortable enough to try different things, also trying different parts of the piano as well, maybe like that sounds really nice. All right, creating some suspense. So like I always say, how you practice is going to make or break whether or not you walk away from your practice time feeling inspired. So if you're just drilling it for the sake of academia, for the sake of memorization, that's great. You can definitely get somewhere that way. But I want to create heart-centered musicians. And so I teach from a heart-centered space where, yes, I want you to know what an inversion is. I want you to know what a seventh chord is. I want you to understand harmony. But I also want you to feel free enough to use the whole board to create, to express yourself, and to be okay with variety and variation and freedom. If you just end up in the box, what is the point of art when you're ending up in the box? What is the point of expression when you are just memorizing it like information? You have to be okay with just trying different things. Sometimes it's not going to sound so good, and that's fine. If it doesn't sound good, then move on to the next thing. And then if it does sound good, repeat it. Music has a lot of repeats. I always say 4 is the magic number in music. You're going to do things 4 times. 4 chords, 4 beats, 4 cycles through. If it's not 4, then it's a multiple of 4. It's going to be 4 or 8 or 16. Approaching it from that standpoint will make your musical practice a lot more rewarding, a lot more fulfilling, and you'll have so much more fun. You don't always have to go root first, second, third, right? If that helps with organization in your mind, then yes, if you're new to it, then yes, go in order, go in order. But once that becomes simple for you, then really it's all fair game. Like you can just mix it all up because it's music. At the end of the day, if it sounds good, it sounds good. That's what I always say. We're so focused on being correct all the time. And yes, there is a certain level of correctness, if that's even a word. There's a certain level of, being correct. But I am an artist, first and foremost. I am an artist above all things. And my ultimate rule is if it feels good, if it sounds good, then do it. get started on inverting your chords, throwing them over octaves, and feeling comfortable enough to explore, feeling comfortable enough with the piano, with yourself, and understanding that things happen in cycles of 4. Drop any questions you have in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.